I can't believe it today. I'm actually earlier than I was last week. Last week, I can't even explain how I was so late. I was so late that I didn't even have my microphone on. This time, not only did I have my microphone on, but I set it up so I don't have to have the microphone in the screen. And also, what's up, bro? Welcome to the attending. Hey, look, it's me, bro. Hey, it's the right mindset. What are we doing today? We are doing a live writing sprint / productivity. And I think that's going to just help everybody. Basically, what we're going to do today is we're going to talk, we're going to chit chat, we're going to sing, we're going to be writing. I'm working on book 2. I'm working on chapter 1 of book 2. What can you do during this time? Well, as always, this channel is dedicated to education. So you could ask questions about your own book. You could ask questions about writing in general. You could ask questions about the business of writing. Doesn't matter. It's always your platform. I'm here to serve. But you could also use this time to write or maybe think about writing. Hey, Cindy, what's up? Hello. I saw that you just joined the writers group, unless, of course, that wasn't you. But I saw your name or that version of your name. You were accepted. Howdy, Rose, saying it to Cindy. Anyway, so today, if you're up for it, you can either write, relax, enjoy. You can ask questions, but I am going to be working on a book today. Excellent. I'm glad you joined. I'm happy to have you a part of the group, and hopefully the group continues growing. Hello, flowers. Oh, it's nearly ice cream time. I'm a little jealous because I would like some ice cream time. Is all I'm saying. Welcome, flowers. I hope the sound is good for you. I tried to work on it this week, and I think I got. Not only am I able not to have the microphone on the screen, but I think I got some volume going. Outlining in my head. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think part of writing is thinking. It's not always. That's good. Relaxing questions. Excellent. Feel free to. I need material to answer questions. Plus, it's fun thinking. How's Morticia? Oh, how is she? Well done. Thank you. Yeah, I thought you would like that. Welcome, Morticia. All right. Okay. All right. Do. Boom. By the way, I'm curious. Do you have or have you ever had a Gomez, or is that how that works? All right. She has slept all day in her tent. I'm in for a night. Oh, yeah, but most cats, they sleep while you're awake, and then when you're sleeping at 3 a.m., you're like, what was that noise? You go out there, and the whole living room is knocked over because they decided to, become an acrobat. So, all right. If you're going to be working on something, we got some people who are going to relax and maybe ask some questions. So that's great. We got some people working on outlines. Okay. All right. Of course. Well, everyone needs a puss, you know. Is she still frightened from her adventure? Oh, that's a good question. Is Morticia still out there running around, or is she like, look, I'm going to take a break? That's always good. But with that said, I will be available to answer questions, but I will be working on. We're going to do a 20-minute block of time, and I will be working on book 2 of the epic fantasy novel for the Maven Saga. I am on chapter 1. I'm working on the 0 draft. That's how far along. If you know from the Sundays how far 0, I am 0 drafting. I've already finished the extended draft for book 2, so now I'm working out the 0 draft elements. However, I am cheating a little bit. I am adding a little bit of prose to it, only because my alpha readers for this book said they really appreciated the having not necessarily clean or polished prose, but that there was a little bit more movement and it was less notation. So I'm adding a little bit of that in there. So not bothered in the slightest. Morticia is a tough girl. I joined at the right time. Excellent, excellent. So other than that, Flower says, I haven't written today, so hoping to do some now. That excites me. I wrote chapter 20 the other day, then realized the one I'm doing now is chapter 20. It happens. Look, we're writers. We're not meant to remember things. We make stuff up on the fly. I have a question for you, Flowers, since you're on chapter 20. Do you give chapter titles to your chapters, or is it just called chapter 20? I would love to know in the comments below if you're willing to say chapter 20 is titled this. With that said, I think I've talked about this in the past. I like to name a chapter off of something that kind of like directly relates to information. So like it'll either be a character name, it'll be the city name, maybe it's a theme, maybe it's a play on words, but it's like the tone of the chapter. For this first chapter of book 2, I am naming it City of Ichi Diaz. And the reason I'm doing that is because it's the name of the city. That's where they are. And then what I do is I do like a subtitle of who the POV of the main POV of that chapter is underneath that in smaller words. So I like to, guide the reader so they're not thinking too deep into it. All right, let's catch up and then we'll jump on the 20 minutes. Still working on chapter 5 outline. Excellent. Look, it's not about running through it. It's about doing what you got to do to make it the best story that you appreciate. Slow going due to work. Getting through. We don't use that 4-letter word around here. Work. It's so painful. Getting through it though. Chapter 5 was as far as I made it when I pantsed it back in 2013, 2014. That's a long time ago. I had my theater in 2013, 2014. Fun fact. Okay. Congratulations, by the way, Ro. That's good work. Going back to it, working time. Remember, it's not about rushing. Plenty times it's writing, beginning and end, then worked on rest. I agree. Sometimes you got to rest. I like to, as I was saying in an earlier interaction with somebody else on another channel, I was saying, I like to nap, eat, nap. I like to get those 2 naps in there. At the moment. Sorry. At the moment, they are numbers, but I am adding titles relating to the scene of it. Excellent. It's always nice because it cuts the learning curve for the reader, depending on the usage of whatever words you're using or whatever term, whatever you're putting there. But it's really good because it allows them to sort of jump in it quicker. That was one of my questions I will ask later. Please do. Nope. No work. Yeah. We don't work is scary. I like titles for chapters. When I read for second or third time, I like start on my favorite chapter. Many times I reread the whole thing. That's an interesting way to approach it. One of the things that I've always found fascinating is if you like read a book, right? That's like out of order. Let's say it's just not a fluid narrative. Like chapter 1 is 5 years in the past, but then chapter 2 is maybe the present, and then chapter 3 is in the future, and then chapter 4 is what could happen, like all those kind of things. Like when you're reading a book that's sort of not a straight narrative. Like I always find it fascinating when I'm done with the book to go back and try to read the book in chronological order. So basically doing what you're doing, where I'm reading whatever chapters I want first, not necessarily my favorite chapters, but I try to put it in order. And with that said, one of the things I'm looking to do once my saga is done, I am going to release a version of the book where it is chapters in order. So, I mean, it'll be chronologically in order because the first series actually takes place after the Maven War has basically started. And then the second series takes place leading up to the Maven War, and then the end of the Maven War. And then the third series takes place after the Maven War. So it'll be interesting to sort of kind of put all that together. My job permits me to write between tasks. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. So let's bloop. Want to do this? All right, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. All right. So we all know what we're going to be working on. Please, again, even though I'm working on something and I'm doing some productivity, if you have questions, thoughts, or you want to keep popping the comments in the section, please do. I will pay attention to them. If I don't get right to them, it's because I'm focused on words. But let's get into it. Let's do it. And 3, 2, 1. Boop. All right. Tinkle, tinkle. There we go. 20 minutes. That was pretty good. It's pretty good. Welcome back. Welcome back, Carter. Yeah. Welcome. Welcome back, Carter. All right. What did we miss? Let's see. When I work nights at hospital, I work on writing, unless it's full moon and my patients decide to be awake. And yeah, you got to be careful with those full moons and the patients. They just kind of it awakes them. Also, that's really good that you have a job that allows you to do that. Brandon, I've just said it a few times. Brandon Sanderson used to work a job overnight at a hotel, and I gave him a chance to write. Nicole, sure, she's still in the room, but if she is, you're loved. Understandable. I believe that's about the job. I should write horror. Lots of examples. Oh, because of the patients and everything. Not that they don't hallucinate other things, but full moon seems the worst time ever a month. Well, look, they do say that the full moon does bring out the crazies. I know I'm crazy. All right, where are we? Hooking up the live stream to the stereo in the car. Not that it's needed, but it's louder than the phone speaker. I appreciate that. I won't say anything too outrageous. No. I never had time to go to the loo on the ward. First of all, sometimes, the smart move is depends. You just wear it. You get a nice little adult diaper. You don't have to worry about this stuff. You can just keep working and not be a human being, right? They sit in the factory, sit at the job, just keep going. I have a friend who actually talks about how they can't take they have breaks, like the breaks exist, but they're working so hard and it's so busy they can't stop. And I'm like, first of all, I haven't really worked a job since 2005 or whatever it is, so 20 holy crap, 20 years ago. But when I did work, I went on my breaks clockwork. If I was with a customer, I said, listen, it's my break time. I'm going to go, but I'm going to get you somebody, and they're going to finish doing whatever they got to do with you. You would think, Tom, how do you make a living? Well, I was a top guitar salesman at Guitar Center, believe it or not, a long time ago. And I was also a top salesman at Radio Shack at another time. And by the way, I joined Radio Shack to learn how to be a salesperson, to sell my business as an entertainer, because I wanted to learn their craft. And I worked there for 6 months. After 6 months, when I became the top salesman, I realized that I was able to do what it is that I was taught. And then I left that job and went back to, because I needed it to sell ideas. I needed to sell music ideas. I needed to sell writing ideas. I needed to sell, especially for film and television. So it was a really good tool. Sales is a great tool to learn. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're so important as a human being that, like, you have to give yourself those breaks. I'm just saying. Full moon. Yes, it's a standing joke. Unless, of course, they're in a wheelchair. All right. Yes, we joked about catheters and leg bags, but then we'd have to empty them. Yes, I guess you would. Unless you just have the catheter running down the leg, taped to the ankle, and you just, wore more leather or rubber boots or sneakers, and you didn't slip on the... Welcome to my TED Talk. All right. Let's see. What we got? Yeah, retail helped me do my work well. Okay, I get it. And I used to work in urology. Interesting. See that? I think we've talked about this before, but like people in the medical field, they usually are like writers or some sort of somebody that's like sort of slips into the desire for creative outlets. All right, let's talk about what anyone who did, not that you had to, there's no pressure, but if you worked on anything during that 20 minutes, how do you feel you did? How far did you get? Do you feel good about what you did right or thought about? Let me know in the comments below. I have reached the midpoint conflict of chapter 1. So there's a setup, there's a conflict, and then there's a resolution. I am working on the conflict right now. I'm pretty excited about this chapter. There's something I'm trying to do as a technique, even though it's zero draft right now. One of my goals is to, because this is a second book. We already know the characters. So what I'm doing is they're doing a very specific action-based thing. The first book is more like it's a relaxed entry. This is they're in medias deus, whatever, where they're like in the middle of doing something. But what I'm doing is I'm allowing each character to sort of influence the camera transition. So one character is doing something, they notice the other character. Well, that character's doing, they hear something, and what they hear ends up being another character, and then that character looks up and does one of these. So it's like I'm moving the camera across the city that they're in to show the movement of what's going on, and it's just an exercise of trying to do something different, or adding a little bit more visual impact to the experience. So that's something. Let's see. Ro talked. Hey, listen, sometimes you got to get it in. You got to get those conversations in with the wife, the partner, the husband, whatever. I get it. I was thinking of starting a comic book series to sell to support our unit. Something along the lines of Calvin and Hobbes. Should be funny. No names, of course, but just satirical. Hey, as someone who comes from the comic book world, though I think you're talking more about the comic strips, very funny. Can't go wrong with that. Also, a 3 to 4 panel comic strip. Very easy to do. I'm just coming in off a sofa. Oh, a soft chapter break. Ice cream creation now. Look, you need the ice cream. All right. Ice cream is the key to happiness. When we were kids, we begged for ice cream. Now, as adults, we can have ice cream anytime we want, as long as we're willing to suffer. Why is that? Why, as adults, we can have ice cream or pizza or anything we want anytime, but our bodies are like, no. But when we're younger, we can eat anything we want, and we don't have a physical reaction. Now that we have the freedom, we have to deal with the consequences. I just want to put that out there. I think there's something going on. I think there's a conspiracy. All right. Ro, is your wife still alive? 20 minutes of your time. I'd be stunned if my ex spent 5 minutes actually talking to me. Definitely alive, still making me honey-do lists. I got a few of those honey-do lists. Honey, can you do this? Can you do that? That's funny. I'm a big fan of being with somebody you can have a conversation with. It's so, I mean, there is a difference between like, oh, we're having a conversation versus like every time I talk to them, it's like, should I have even talked? Or, whatever the case may be. But it's nice to be able to talk to someone about anything and everything, even if it's not like personal stuff. Like if it's just like, we can discuss, human civics or whatever, or whatever. Or we can discuss, epic fantasy, or we can discuss, I've always been wowed by a lot of the women I've had the privilege to date, and where like conversations would start in one world and end in another, and the mental gymnastics of that movement, and in a positive way, was always a huge arousal for me, for my heart and my mind. Not even in an intimate way, one might in a physical intimate way, but like in a mental intimate way. And I think I really connect with friends too that are like that, when you could just kind of the conversation, as per one of my best friends who's basically like a brother to me. We were talking, and I was like, oh, let me give an aside, and he goes, Tom, every conversation we have is just a collection of gathered asides that ignore the premise of what we started talking about. And I'm like, oh yeah. He wasn't saying like a negative, but he was laughing because he's like, all we do is talk at asides, but that's because I think it's really fun to kind of just let conversations just do what they got to do. I know I just went on a aside and a rampant aside based on I can't even talk to my ex. Wow, 40 minutes? Minutes for 40 minutes? All right. So that means I did 20 minutes of talking. We'll try to get 5 minutes of talking in, 5 minutes of jibber jabbing and moving on. If anyone has any questions right now, I'll answer a question or two, and then we'll jump back into another 20 minutes, ripple ramble. And I think my video is like 5 or 6 minutes behind. So like when I'm recording versus what you guys see, I'm just saying, hey, it's Hannah Hart. I'm doing my outline in a writing app called Novelist. And I've created 3 books in it. That's awesome, Hannah. Novelist. Look at that. Write your novels. Let's look at this. Wow. Novelists write your novels. You can get on Google Play, App Store, or web. You can run it on the web. Wow, look at that. Also, congratulations on outlining 3 books. That's impressive. I'm quite proud of you. Look at this. You could output your book in many different formats according to your needs. Rich text editor. That's important. Backup and restore. Goal setting. Integrate a preview. Preview your book's final output. Templates. Nice. Look at that. Themes, events, characters, locations, actual facts. Download the app on your smartphone. No purchase cost or hidden charges. Look at this. Free help. Did you sneak this in to get a nice little, do you own this app? No. Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, it's like working on Google Docs on your phone. Always at hand. Look at that. Very nice. Huh. It says here there has been 160,000 downloads. Averages a 4.3 review status. That's cool. Hey, it happens. No, honestly, whatever works for your outlining process is going to work. Like it is what it is. If it's one sloppy as another person's organized, if you know what I mean. Oh, mine. Well, you do a longhand, don't you? Yeah, you do a longhand. You do it longhand. My Bailiffs have long fingers. They have like slightly longer. They have like an extra. They have an extra knuckle on their hands. Plus they have they could have gold skin, orange skin, red skin, pale skin, purple skin. Stuff like that. So when they write, they have to hold the pencil. Anyway. All right. Okay. Thanks for that insight, Hannah Hart, novelist. Very interesting. I'm gonna have to tell people about it. I'm gonna have to look into that. Looks nice. Looks like a nice format. Anyways, all right. Any questions? Orange whip. 3 orange whips. All right, let's take a drink. I'm drinking extra sweet tea today. That's what she said, Ro. Plot point 6 is pushed. That's right. It pushes because of the twist or pinch. It pushes the protagonist into Act 2. And my chapter 6 is devoted to just that. That's good. It's nice to sometimes isolate a plot point in a full chapter. Gives it time to breathe and evolve. Hannah Hart says, I also added my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh cards called the Spirit Charmers. But they're flower charmers in my story. I charm flowers with a little water and a lot of sunlight. My little nephew loves those Yu-Gi-Ohs. Yu-Gi-Ohs! It happens. My beard is getting a little furry today. I'm trying to grow my beard out, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I mean, I like having the beard, but I also, you see, I like just having the face, like the goatee, but also I like just having, you see, like that. Yeah, like that. Like that's my normal face. I like it. I like it like this. It's these side things that just look so. Maybe it's because it grows out. Like maybe I could do like the mutton chops. I don't know. Num 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 num. Do you think all the time? Do you think crossing a rapid river will serve as a suitable situation for that in an Old West setting? One of the characters can't swim. I have to ask a follow up to that question to give you what is the twist or pinch of plot point 8? Because plot point 9 is uh, a direct I want to say consequence. And remember, a consequence doesn't have a consequence could be good or bad, but and remember, a twist or a pinch can be good or bad. It just it just changes the situation. But I should say, what is the plot twist or pinch of plot point 8 that influences the circumstances of plot point 9? That's the question I have to ask to because another can, and we'll have to save them. That's not looking at just that, by the way, just looking at what you wrote. That's not necessarily a plot point 9. But again, I don't have the full context of what led to there. It could be. It could serve to be like, whatever the case may be. Again, I don't know, and I don't want to influence your story in any way. But it just being them crossing a river, somebody falls into and can't swim, and it has to be saved. That doesn't necessarily propel them into A, the second act, or B, allow it to be a push from the circumstances created by the pinch or twist. However, if I know what the pinch or twist is, and if I knew what Act 2 was exploring, that entire situation could very well be plot point 9. But based on just that information, I can honestly say this seems more like low stakes. However, how deep is the river? Is he jumping in to save him? That might itself be the twist or pinch. I don't know. I need more information, as they say. Sure, flash flood. The flash flood would be the pinch or twist, right? And then they're struggling. They're almost going to drown. And then maybe, again, the flash flood. I know, Kitty. The kitty cat's here. If the flash flood drowned them, and now one person died, that would create them dealing with them. Are they going to live or die in that situation? That in that scenario that we just went over, there's a flash flood, knocks them in. Plot point 8 would be them fighting against the flash flood, trying to survive. They get to safety, but one of them has drowned, and now plot point 9 would be them dealing with it, but somebody dies, or the person is now weakened. They're still alive, but now they're weakened, so they're in a new circumstance. That would be an example of it. So yeah. The protagonist was captured by natives. When were they captured by natives? Are you saying in plot point 8 they were captured by natives? And then plot point 9 is they're trying to escape, so they're crossing a rapid river to escape. That could work. That could change the circumstances. Yeah. His two teammates helped him escape. They are on the run. Okay, they are on the run. They have to get across this river. Okay, all right. So just from that, I'm assuming plot point 8 is that they got captured, because that's the pinch or twist. Then they escape in plot point 9, and the river stuff happens, and they almost die, but he saves them. So Act 2 is now they are on the run from the natives and trying to survive. I'm assuming that's what Act 2 is going to be. Either they're Act 2, the new circumstances is we have to survive, so we have to stay ahead of them. Then that scenario, yes, Now those plot points are made. Yes. But you see how like the smallest context or the subtext or even the motivation leading into certain plot points can change or adjust what a plot point situation would be, you know? Yes. Well, kind of. Well, it, we could assume they never see the natives again. But if Act Two is they can never go back to the world, now they're in Act Two, they have their life has changed, so they have to continue forward because they can't go back home. So even if the natives aren't chasing them, they can't go back home. So they have to keep moving forward to wherever they're going or wherever they end up choosing. That would still be consistent with what Act Two would be in that scenario. What am I looking for? That's what I'm saying. Ooh, what time is it? It's 3 o'clock, right? Ba, 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 ba. Oh, all right. I know. Okay, let's do it. Let's do another 20-minute productivity. Yep. And then we'll come back. We'll talk a little bit. I'll ask. I know Flower has a question, so I'll answer a couple more questions at the end, and then we'll call it a day. Sorry about the. It's okay. You don't want to give away anything. I get it. You don't want to spoiler, spoilers. I get it. Look. All right, let's do it. Let's start the clock. Boop. And I will see you in 2, 1. Hello. Is it me you're looking for? All right. Okay. Ooh, we got a lot going on here. Let's go back. Let's see. Crossing the rapids, sure. Protagonist was captured. Yes. What kind of sorry? Okay. Sorry about the listen, I get it. I think we've talked about that. I don't remember if I sent you my chapter plot point outline or not, but it does give away a lot of details without context as scenes. You sent me chapter plot point uh, uh, what plot points are within a chapter, but not necessarily. There wasn't a lot of detail, but it was interesting to see how you laid that out. I think I only sent you a chapter. Yeah, that's it. Without the accompanying scene hints. Yes, correct. Correct. Good for you, Hannah. Oh yeah, with the outlining. Very proud of her. I don't mind. I don't mind sharing story details with you since I consider you my writing instructor. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So sometimes it just makes it easier to do it that way. I get it. Well, remember, anything you send to me is confidential anyway. I would never share without your permission or divulge any kind of information on that. My job is basically I'm a therapist in the form of a teacher, and I'm here to help and write when and where I can. And I appreciate the compliment of honoring me with such a kind title of being a writing instructor. Your plot should be fluid, though. If I write it down, it's like written in blood, and then I don't want to get rid of it, even if it doesn't fit. Sagging, like when moving a queen mattress. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, my rule is always be allow malleability. You know, a true story takes form with work. Great writing is rewriting, and solidifying the foundation of a castle before you have the design might lead to a really weird castle with stairs leading up to the ceiling, which sometimes was meant to happen, but other times it led out to a door, and they were like, "Whoops." But again, whatever works for you is really the best approach. I will stand on that. So, if people want to just write however they want to write, there is nothing wrong with their method if it works for them. But I do stand by allowing for fluidity in the writing process because great writing is indeed rewriting. It is going to be a process. I mean, even in my screenwriting career, like if I handed in a first draft of a script and then I didn't do any work on it, there's no way I would have ever gotten picked up because, Spider-Man took 20 years to produce, and it's Spider-Man. So, screenwriting, writing in general is sorry if it's typos. The AI microphone leaves a lot to be desired. Well, if you're driving, be safe, right? You don't know where you're talking. It all makes sense to me with Thomas's layout of the plot points. Just wondering how well the scene ideas will work within each. Yeah, ultimately, when it comes down to the plot points, remember it's about the element of its purpose. So whatever the plot point's purpose is, that should drive the element of the scene, and that scene could be anything you want it to be, as long as the foundation of its purpose is driven by its rules. So the ordinary world, some of the main rules are set the tone, set the characters and their motivations, explain the rules of the world without going into like exposition, and then ultimately setting the status quo. So if your ordinary world is ultimately like the protagonist losing both their legs, that would be an inciting incident, unless of course you are writing it where it is not the inciting incident, it is just their status quo. So you are showing them losing their legs and they are living without their legs, and now the real inciting incident would be them ultimately choosing to find a way to live with no legs, and then going, I still have life ahead of me, and that would create the inciting incident. And the inciting incident is designed to change the status quo. So why is that change the status quo? Because he has reserved the right of having no purpose. He lives with no legs. He lost it in a war or whatever, and he's just laying and he's depressed. The inciting incident is that he's inspired with hope or potential, and he's like, you know, someone like a nurse comes in or a doctor or somebody, and they're like, hey, we have these things we could teach you how to use, these extensions, and it'll teach you how to walk again. And that becomes the inciting incident because new information has changed the status quo. So that's really how you have to look at the plot points. Like, what are the rules of the plot points and how does that apply to the scene that I'm developing? And you should always end up working it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and also the raising of the stakes, right? So I would say every 3 plot points, the stakes should be raised a little bit. But the idea is that you can lower the stakes as long as the momentum never reduces lower than the lowest point. Meaning, all right, how do I say this? If like plot point 1 is here, obviously, and then plot point 2 is here, this is the stakes. So the stakes were risen by the inciting incident, right? Plot point 3 is the direct. So the stakes could be even or slightly higher. But then plot point 4 is where we're sort of like thinking about the long form situation. So instead of going here, it could actually go a little lower, even though this is where it started. But if you notice, the stakes never go lower than the original spot. Now, this is the thing, though. When you get to the Act 2, wherever the stakes are, the Act 2 plot point 10, that starts the support line. That is the lowest you can possibly go in Act 2 now. And that's obviously going to be higher than Act 1, right? So when you look at stakes and stuff like that and raising stakes, you got to look at it in that sense. You always want to go higher. There is a rule, though, like the stakes should never go higher than the midpoint conflict. However, you can do as you please, because Act 3 obviously should be extending and growing and building. But anyway, stakes are a whole other story. Just like hamburgers. One scene I know for sure will work is for plot point 11, fun and games. The team gets to take time, sharing stories, getting to know each other as they camp around a fire. Yeah, that's a traditional, and I'm not using traditional in a negative way, but that's a traditional, straightforward plot point 11 gag is, they're around the campfire, I believe in Blazing Saddles when they're sitting around eating beans and then they start farting and everything. I believe that would be plot point 11, but I haven't seen the movie in a long time. I will say this, though. It's always a good place to put them. If it's fantasy, they're camping or traveling. If it's Western, they're camping or traveling. If it's Pirates of the Caribbean, they're hanging out at a bar in Tortuga, right? It doesn't always have to be sort of like a sitting area. They could be like for the sci-fi, they're flying through space or whatever the case is. You're allowed to sort of change the environment, so it's always good to mix things up. But there's nothing wrong with a good camp. I love a good sit around the campfire. Hey, let's literally learn about each of the characters. Like, it's always a good moment, especially in Act 2. Don't worry, I can read between the commas. All right, so we've been doing this for an hour and a half-ish. Flowers, if you're still there, I remember you saying you do have a question for later. So if you're eating your ice cream, I completely understand. It's difficult to write while eating. But if you want to ask your question, we are going to be calling it in a little bit. We are going to step away soon. I got a full day ahead of me. I gotta record some episodes, not episodes, chapters. Lyrics. I know you've mentioned this before. Would one line of a song as a title be a huge no-no? Could I change 1 or 2 words? So, all right. So, just for clarification, you're asking if you could take real word song lyrics, and take that lyric and make it a song title. The short answer is yes, you can. The longer answer is you cannot write the whole song or a verse of the song or the chorus of the song in the form of a character writing the song for sure, or even the characters singing the song. But a line is fine. It falls under the free use because it's a recreation of the medium or something like that. What is it called? Free use copy. Oh, fair use. Free use copyright when using a lyric, a song in a novel. Yeah, so the fair use element of it is you can use it without permission if it's criticism, commentary, a parody, sort of like SNL, right? Or news reporting. However, whether your use qualifies as fair use depends on several factors, including the nature and purpose of its use, the amount of the copyrighted material used. For example, you're only using a line. And its impact on the material itself. Now, if you used a line for each chapter from the same song, that would probably lean more towards no. However, any song published in 1928 or later, fair use because it's no longer copywritten, because after 75 years, they lose their copyright. But I will say, the thing is also you're changing the medium, and that's where I think it becomes an issue of fair use. It would only be one line. Yeah, you could do that. Like, for example, in my self-help book, there's a line that says we're halfway there, but in the audio right. But then like after that, I go if you do X, Y, and Z, blah 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 blah, you're halfway there, and then it's like ellipses, and then it goes, did you start singing the Bon Jovi song like I did? So when I do the audio version of it, I sing that. I go, you're halfway there. And then it's like, did you start singing the song like I did? Right. That's fair because you're not really using the song. It's just, it's a satirical play on it. What if you have the artist? Well, then there's no question. You could absolutely use it. So if an artist gives you permission, especially if it's written permission, or you have either contractually or it's in an email or there's some sort of solidified thing, then you could use it with no issue. Not same song. Whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa, living on a prayer. Take my hand. Take it there. Oh, living on a prayer. Is it? What is the first thing? Tommy used to work on the docks. Union's been on strike. He's down on his luck. It's tough. So tough. Gina works the diner all day. Working for her man. She brings home a pay for love. Love. She says, we've got to hold on to what we got. It doesn't matter if you're making all night, yeah. Got each other. And that's a lot for love. Well, give it a shot. Sorry. Everyone's leaving. Everybody just left the like, what is this guy doing? You saw them 1995 and 6, I think. Hey, that's exciting. Were they Bon Jovi or were they John Bon Jovi? I love that he left he created another band and called himself John Bon Jovi. There's a really I appreciate not leaving. There's a really funny SNL skit where Bon Jovi's like, I got a name for the band. And they're like, what do you think? And he's like, I don't know, like Bon Jovi. And they're like, that's your name. He's like, it is? And they're like, why don't we come up with a different name? You know, this isn't your name. And he's like, all right, how about Jovi? Like, that's still your name. It's very funny, Skip. Very funny, Skip. Anyway, all right. Did anyone get any work done? Did they? How'd you do out there? How'd you do? How did you do? We got 1271. Ooh, yeah, girl. Ooh, yeah. 1271. Doing good with that. 1270. Woo. It's a lot of words. I'm still here, still outlining my story. Excellent. I like your singing. I've heard my own sister sing, but it sounds like she's I appreciate that, Hannah Hart. I appreciate it. I used to work with a Filipino girl called Jovi. Now, there's a question to ask. Can you use Bon Jovi's name or just Jovi and not get in trouble? And I'm going to say yes. And the reason is because you cannot copyright names. Watch hours. Oh, you want to know what my watch hours are? All right, I'll tell you. I just I'm up to 1,200 words on the first chapter, so that's exciting. Let's do it. Watch hour. Where we at? I think I've been having a slow month. For some reason, the viewage this month is pretty low. However, let's see. Right now, it says that I'm at 3,933. However, if I do the year, oh yeah, it's about the same. It's about the same. I don't know, man. The thing is, this month started out slow, so it's counted for 9 days, and I'm only at 103 watch hours, which is a lot for anybody. But at the same time, I am 14% less this month than I was last month at the same time. So I walked this week and left you running on the laptop. I hope you weren't too tired. I was exhausted. My feet were killing me. My knees can't take the running anymore, but I absolutely appreciate the watchage. I know that the live videos, like, for example, well, I can't because it doesn't show. After I finish a live, it'll tell me the watch hours for that video. It'll say whatever, 10 or 15 hours. Like, for example, there's 6 people. We did an hour. So this video is going to be a minimum of at least 6 hours, right? At least 6 hours. But then tomorrow it says it'll say 0.1 or 1.3 hours, and the numbers won't be accurate. So I did some research, and it says that live video, sometimes the watch hour doesn't correspond right away. And then the other thing it was saying was, this is the thing, like, if you watch a playlist, it has to go through, because I'm not a big channel yet. So if like a playlist is being watched, like, for example, when Flowers leaves a playlist on, that's good because it's creating pattern. But because I'm a small channel, that watch time takes time, no pun intended, to be registered, because YouTube does a little look-see and sees if somebody's actually watching it, in the sense of, is it common for this channel to get people to watch more than one video, or whatever the case is. And so slowly but surely it creates a pattern, though. So that's good. But I think my watch time is slightly influenced by because sometimes I'll look at my numbers and I'm like, what's going on? And all of a sudden it's huge. I'm like, oh, yes, I didn't watch as much this week. It's your fault, Ro. Senora. What is it? Michia, right? Yeah. Ia Michia. My friend, right? All right. Emma, welcome. You always come towards the end, but I just love that you're here at all. My bad. You're forgiven this time. That was actually amazing. Thank you, Emma. Thank you. I'm a trained singer, I just don't get me started. I'll start singing the Phantom and hello. Okay. You were making pizza? Now you're just flirting with me. You're married with children. You can't do that to me in a live setting and not expect my heart to swoon when I see the magic word for my heart to appear on the screen. Pizza. And then eating pizza. Oh, my two favorite things. Cooking pizza and eating pizza. I love you, Emma, and your pizza. Please, could I have a slice? All right. Okay. All right. Emma, so your productivity was you were making pizza and eating pizza, and now you're gleefully bragging about it. And that's fine. That's fine. That's my job. My job is to crack you up, to make you laugh, to be like, I love this human being. I want to be friends with him. And then, of course, obviously, our meme wars. I have a friend, by the way, who is not Emma, who sends me memes also, except he sends me so many. I send a lot, but this guy sends like 20 in a day. And then he doesn't react to any of the memes I send him. But then, like, out of nowhere, he'll just start reacting to older memes that I sent him. But he sends me so many that I'm just like, bro, I have to literally take a day off of watching memes to catch up on your memes. Dude, I wanted to ask you, how about Alan Parsons' project? Do you like the album what is it called? iRobot. iRobot. Oh yes. It's good. It's good. It's Alan Parsons. You can't go wrong with the parse. But I love his face. When did Alan Parsons release the robot? 1977. I wasn't even born yet. What is going on? What's going on? I've listened to it. I'm not, my kind of music is doom metal. Like, My Dying Bride, but of course, I do like Sabbath and all. I finished an editing job and now I'm going to do some admin stuff. Oh, editing. I love it. Obviously, you're going to edit the epic fantasy. I mean, the sci-fi book live and in person for us to show us your amazing skills while also educating people on the process so they could see that you need a professional expert to do it. All right. I'm just kidding. I'm not throwing that on you. I mean, you can do it, but I am not throwing that on you. I'm vomiting silliness. I'm cleaning the basement after my sister and I moved back in with the madre, up and down the stairs with junk mom has kept for 30 years. Yeah, that's always an exciting moment, is the remove, the winning, the removals and getting back on track. I get it. It's not a meme war. It's a meme. I love it. We do have a meme love. It's like our love language, I mean, the pizza would be better, but good cardio, Cindy. It is good cardio going up and down, up and down. Emma, where did you go to learn editing? That's a good question. That is a good question. I understand. Yeah, but I do listen to, like, I like the Styx. I like, I really love Dream Theater. I used to like Metallica, but the reason I say I don't like Metallica is because I like less songs than they have. And my rule is if I don't like 51% or more of their material, then I'm not necessarily a fan of the band anymore. I'm a fan of songs from that band. And that's just my rule. I know it's semantics, but like, I could pretty much listen to almost any Dream Theater song and be like, I'm in. But I can't do that with Iron Maiden anymore. Like, I used to love Iron Maiden. Like, the first 4 albums, I could listen to them straight through. And then just slowly and surely, I was just like less and less interested. Same thing with Kiss, same thing with the Megadeth, the same thing, and it just kind of falls apart, But if I had to listen to music, I'm either going to listen to like, Broadway music, like, like Jekyll and Hyde or Phantom or something, or heavy versions of that, or I'm going to do doom metal, which is different than doom metal. Like, they actually sing and they do that, but like a Typo Negative is good too, I do like Guar, though. I do enjoy Guar. And of course, that one of my favorite non-metal bands is Cake. All right. I have a very eclectic musical tastes and tend to think others are similar in their taste. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I started with jazz and blues because that's where I started with music. I had to start there. My grandfather was a jazz player who played all over the place, played at Apollo Theater and all that. So I started in jazz and then like classical music and then like big band. And then like I went to, but usually it goes the other way. Like metalheads go into jazz. I started in jazz and moved to metal. Obviously, I will do that. You're the best, Emma. The book is ready and willing. And once it's set up to go, I would love to have you on to walk us through that and see the magic of how it works. Because the whole series is about education and love. I've done editing courses, but it's basically 25 years experience. First of all, I can't believe you've been practicing editing since you were 2 years old, because right, you're 27. So you're doing a great. You're 27-year-old, 25 years experience. No. I know you're a little older. You're like 28. All right. I used to love Gary Newman. I hate his newest stuff. We saw an acoustic set at the end of 2023, and it was fabulous. There really is something about acoustic set, especially for a song like obviously, you want to listen to Cars, but to hear like a song that you're just so familiar, like even if it's a heavy metal song or in this case an 80s song, or it was 79, I think. Just to hear an acoustic is such a really amazing experience, and it's like one of my favorite things. Like there's a band called Pain of Salvation, and they have like a full acoustic album, and it's just something I love so much. It's just something so pure about it, and I think that's why I release like heavy songs as an acoustic. So a lot of my music that's out there is just like acoustic versions of like the heavier songs we used to play, You've done so many cool things, Tommaso. Oh, I mean, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm just trying to be me. I'm trying to do what I can to add to the community, to help the community. Especially hearing that from you, that means a lot, because I respect you and love you, and I think you're amazing in your own right. You're fabulosos. Appreciate that. Flowers, I started listening to Newman in early 2000, but like his first 3 or 4 albums the most. Yeah, that's the thing. Like some bands, they come out and you're like, these are amazing. And then like they slowly just they tap out. Even writers do that. There's some authors that'll write like 5 books that are just pure gold. And then they just slowly start falling apart. And it happens. You drain the well, and you got to do something to revitalize that. And that's why John Bon Jovi went from Bon Jovi to John Bon Jovi, so he could, even though it's the same music. They were his older songs too, so I think the stripped versions went that way. Oh yeah, for sure. Kind of, I wish I could hear that. I'm gonna look for that. I'm gonna look for versions of that. Yes, I was there at the beginning. I saw the creation of life. I like Margaret Atwood's quote, revision. Oh, that's really good. I like that. Whoopsie. We're on music again. Yeah, it happens. It happens. Sometimes we go from books to music, but creative outlets. Oh, it's called The Creation of Newman. The Creation of Newman. Google's asking me if I meant human, and we both know Newman is not human. All right, on many levels. How about Newman acoustic? Oh, you're making a joke. That's funny. You're making a joke. Sorry, that went over my head for a second. Oh, hey, I'm gonna save this till later. Boom, it's right here. Save to watch later. That should be interesting. All right, I found it. I found the acoustic tour. All right. Das funny. Okay. All right, where are we? Oh, anyway, yeah, music, writing, whatever the case may be, it's all creative outlets. I've said this before, though, in the past. I like to write my songs like a book, like a story. So, like, if I do an album, each song is sort of like a chapter, and I write these stories that unfold. Some of my songs don't even have choruses; they just have this constant progressive element to it. That's why I'm progressive doom metal, or as I like to call it, theatrical progressive doom metal. Because back in the day, I used to dress up. But I don't think lyrical writing is outside the vein of writing a book or a screenplay or anything. Do you like Rush? Yes. Rush. I'm Tom Sawyer, modern day Tom. What is it? Modern day Tom Sawyer. I also like Rush. Way back in the day, though, and obviously they were around before I was born, so I got into them as I got older. Because when I was younger, I was like, "What's with his voice?" And then I was like, "What's with this music? It's awesome." Because I like progressive. Newman song started as short story. See, it's all part of the process. Even Newman knew that. Neil Peart was a lot like that. Yeah. Neil Peart, well, he wrote a lot of the lyrics, and Neil Peart lyrics. Yeah, he wrote a lot of the Neil Peart's 5 most powerful song lyrics. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Did Neil Peart write all the lyrics for Rush? He didn't write all of them, but Neil Peart wrote the majority of the band's lyrics, especially from 1974 onwards. Yeah. Rush is really good, though. Rush lyrics. I'm still not really a fan of the vocals, Geddy Lee, but I do love their music. I like music that is ever evolving, and but again, I like the Dream Theaters and stuff like that. And Pain of Salvation is fantastic. Opeth, but I like Opeth where they sing, and I don't really like Opeth like when they first everything was just growling. But Opeth has some amazing choices musically, and I think that always was interesting to me. I also like when they mix the acoustic stuff with the heavy stuff. I know none of this has to do with writing, but I also think musical writing is telling a story. Like, you're creating these notes and these rhythms and these polyrhythms and these, how you're moving through certain scales, or you're functioning with a major with a minor, or, or you're in love with the Phrygian, as the lead guitarist will say. And it just creates this movement of song and story. And even without lyrics, if the music has that ever-growing evolution, it's going to move you. And if that wasn't the case, then classical music would never have been interesting. But it is very interesting. All right. What do we got? I guess that's it. All right. That was a lot of fun. Did you have fun today? Tomorrow, we will be going over Write a Book series. We will be writing. Where are we at? What are we on? 17? Week 17. We're on week 18. Just keeps flying by. Oh yeah, because I lost a week. So technically, we're all right. Okay, all right. I'm pretty excited about this. Hey, Rose says yes. That's why I like Newman's early stuff so much. Very sci-fi. Oh yeah, yeah, right. Newman stuff is sci-fi. Right. There's the cars on there. Here in my car, I feel safest of all. I can lock all my doors. It's the only way to live in cars. Here in my car, I can only receive. All right. What is the story behind Cars by Newman? According to Newman, the song's lyrics were inspired by an incident of road rage. I was in traffic in London, or Londra, if you speak in Italiano. I was in traffic in London once and had a problem with some people in front. They tried to beat me up and get me out of the car. I locked the doors and eventually drove up on the pavement and got away from them. Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. That's all everyone knows. Well, yeah. I mean, that's why I chose that song. I didn't want to sing some, let's do you want to do a more obscure one? Let's do an obscure one. Let's see. Newman songs. Oh, Jesus. Where are my lyrics? Give me my lyrics. Okay. It's, all right. Okay. They got nothing. All right. Okay. Apparently the only lyrics you're allowed to know from Gary Newman is Cars. All right. Well, there are no lyrics popping up. Gary Newman lyrics. All right. Here it goes. All right. Let's see. Boop, 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 boop. I die, you die. That's fun. Down in the park. It feels thick as a ball. Yeah. Oh, son of a. Down in the park with them. I don't know the rhythm, though. It's been a long time since I heard this one, so I won't be able to sing it right. What we got here, though? Down in the park where the mech men meet. The machines are playing Kill by Numbers down in the park with a friend called Five. That is poetry, though. I mean, it may not sound like it may sound like I'm making a joke, but there's just a rhythm to the way he writes lyrics. I dream of wires. Do you know? Do you? I dream of wires. What's going on? Holy crap. Fun fact. How many lyrics? Holy crap. So according to this, Gary Newman has 712 songs. What? That's a lot of songs. Oh, I dream of wires. I am the final silence, the last electrician alive. And they called me the sparkle. I was the best. I worked them all. Right. What do we got here? Metal. Oh, that is the song he has. Metal. That is on the list, and that is number 5. So I'm assuming 5 biggest hit, because Cars was his biggest hit, so that's number 1. The air crash. Wow, you all right? We are glass. Okay, that was the number 11 on the list, so that's how popular that one. Airline. Look, we're getting them all. Airline. Oh, see, Flower's throwing out some of these more eclectic ones. They're all the way down on the list, so I like it. We are so fragile, which is a lyric I need to use. That is a good lyric. Please listen to the sirens. Tricks, which is a sexy type one. My chateau in vain. My chateau in vain. How about magic, huh? Exile. The TikTok man. Got me a TikTok man. Love that one. Let's look at My Shadow in Vain. Oh, there's a live version of it. Oh, there are no lyrics to that song. Oh, here we go. Let's see. My shadow in vain strolled to the cafe. My God, how time flies. I close up my brain and another friend dies. I feel like a mirror, feel like nothing is mine. I could go back to crying, but now dying seems fine. Look, he's writing poetry. It's excellent. Can't go wrong with this guy. I Dream of Wires is my favorite. We are friends with the Liquid Engineers, who are a tribute band. They are great. We see them a few times a year, but they have a new guitarist, so he has to learn the back catalog. That is the fun of being in a cover band. You're gonna shadows in vain. Oh wait, that's a Ghost song. A lot of people like the Ghost. I don't know if I'm a big fan of the Ghost, but some of their songs are good. Let's see. Stroll to the cafe. All right, that's how he says it. Stroll to the cafe. All right. There was a book I read years ago, Friends Come in Boxes. Obvious link to Newman there, but never knew if he read it. Oh, let's see. Did Newman ever read Friends Come in Boxes? It says here, no information. There's no readily available information to definitively confirm whether Gary Newman has read Friends Come in Boxes. However, it's likely that he has not, as the book is not widely known and does not appear to be part of his biography or any public discussions about him. Interesting. All right. Now that's stuck in my head. All right. We did good today. We had a lot of fun. Got some writing done. I got some writing done. You got some writing done. You got some outlining done. We all did some stuff. We all had some fun. Got things done. Talked some music. And I'm just sitting here in my car. All right. I guess that's it. Hannah Hart says, I just finished my outline of my story, The Chronicles of Floralis, The Petals of Chateaus and the Seven Flower Charmers, Book 1. Congratulations on accomplishing something so big. Outlining is not easy, and to finish it, that's something that you should reward yourself with some cake or something. That's what I like to do. Or as you all know, pizza. I'll send you that other version of my layout of the plot points via email. I look forward to it, Ro. I do. Send it away. You know me. I'll take a little look-see. I like it. I got 400 words done. So thank you for getting me to sit down and focus after the Grands Progs have gone home. I'm just doing my part, you know. I'm trying to keep us all on the level. Hey, but remember, you can always. It's hard to get those words in. I know. Well done, flowers. Right. That's 400 words is a page. You know. Sometimes though, like we hear like Stephen King's like, I'll do 5 pages a day or whatever. It's like, remember, always stay focused on what you can do and not necessarily what everyone else can do. So 400 words is a victory, even if that's on the low end of what you average do or if it's on the high end. As writers, we have to remember it's not about what everyone else is doing. It's about how we focus on what we're doing. My second book is called The Shadow Petals and the Two Shattered Petals. It's going to be about Rosethorn and her mother, Queen Moon Blossom. Interesting. I like it. Now, are you writing the books, the book outlines of all of them, and then writing the books themselves? Or are you writing a book, doing an outline, writing the book, doing an outline, writing the book, doing an outline? Me personally, I do a little bit of both. I write and I outline, write, outline, outline. So I'm always building on future books, but I'm also always working on process. But the other thing that I'm learning is really helpful is as I'm outlining, like right now, I'm also outlining book 3, right, in this series. There are certain things that are coming up in book 3 where I'm like, oh, I could add this little bit of information in book 1, and then I could add a little bit to book 2, and now in book 3, it'll have a bigger payoff. So I think that's been the biggest benefit. It's also why I'm glad I'm basically writing the books and then thinking of publishing them. However, there's a small chance I will finish book 1 completely and then start doing the chapter releases, but sort of like, like a director's, like as the books are being finished and slowly released, I will potentially maybe release like a revision of it, like a second edition or something. So you could buy like the updated version, but you could read, it's whatever. I don't know. We got. We did that one right. Yes, I'm going to be writing my book on my laptop in Google Docs. Right, Google Docs. That's what I use. Such a good, simple thing. You can write on your phone whenever you need to, especially if you have the internet. It's really organized. I only do it as you'll see tomorrow when we continue chapter 1 of the sci-fi book. I only do a chapter per document. I don't do the long, because once you get to like 30,000 words, now it starts glitching a little bit. So that's something to keep in mind. But when I'm outlining, I don't really worry about that too much because However, my book 2 outline was like 91,000 words, and that's with like all the side notes and the asides, the tracking names and stuff like that. So I had to break that up into acts. I had to do an act 1, act 2, and an act 3 file, just so I can look at the file without it getting all like, But I do try to keep. I don't know if you do this, Emma, but every time I do, like the 0 draft gets its own document and folder, and then when I work on a first draft, I then create a new document and folder, and second draft, and so forth and so forth. So I never, once I finalize a draft, like if I'm like 0 draft is done, then I'll take that and put it into folder for first draft, and then I'll just start reworking it in that first draft. So I always have the original as a fallback, and I don't know, maybe I'm the only one. I'm crazy like that. But the Novelist app is just from my story outline, since I've had issues where some of my stories had mysteriously disappeared to where I can't find. That is scary. What I do, okay, you gotta learn to do the secret move, and the secret move is downloading a PDF or Word document off of Google Docs to keep everything safe and organized, and have multiple copies of things. All right. 2 hours in. Okay, I think it's time. All right, everyone, let's do all this stuff just for anyone who's new. If you haven't done so already and you really like what you've been watching, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out. It's good stuff. Yeah, check it out, the Novelist thing. I was looking at it. Ro, thanks for popping that up, Hannah Hart. It's just it is contagious. Ro, if you do check it out, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. So yeah, if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the bell icon. Obviously, liking, commenting, and sharing helps with the algorithm. It also helps build the channel. We are kicking butt. We have continued to grow. Where are we now? We are at 2,048 subscribers. This month alone, we got 13 subscribers. So we are constantly and consistently growing. And I think that's a wonderful thing for this channel, because I do love doing this. I do love communicating with everyone, and I do love building the community, especially because it's surrounded in the world of craft and writing, and there's nothing more powerful than a creative outlet, especially when it's energized by multiple brains. I like it a lot, and I also have it on my phone. Yeah, and it also says, by the way, that you can download it on your computer as well. So there are many things. How many watch hours needed? At this point, it's saying I need 70 watch hours, which is ultimately, if I could get, what is it, 7 people to watch 10 hours each, that would get me over. All right. Yeah, take a look at it. You can do it on your computer. The novel is. It says on the website you can do it on your computer, you can do it on the tablet, and you can do it on your phone. I'll hit some more videos. I appreciate that, Ro. I appreciate that. Much love, much love. Yeah, you know, even if you like 10 videos, if you just watch 10 live videos, like if everyone just watched 10 live videos, you know, if 10 people watch 10 live videos, we'd pop it and lock it. All right. Also, by the way, the makearightlefthear.com exists, and there's stuff on there. I'm not saying this to make sales, but I'm saying anything you want to know about me is on there, from books coming out to news to my merchandise to my music. My music is on there, right? Yeah, my music's right there. So if you just want to hang out and diddle daddle on there, you know, do what you can. There's some I'm catching up. Ooh, good, excellent. Woohoo, yes. Thank you for that. The fact that anyone's giving me their time at all means, again, I say it every week, but it almost seems like doesn't mean it. But the truth is, like, you're giving me 10, 15, 20, an hour, half hour of your time. And I know life is precious. So please know that I am not taking it for granted. And I will continue to put all my effort into this channel and continue to give as much of my time as I possibly can for this endeavor. I'm so basic. I just have one file. There's nothing basic about you, Emma. Okay, you're top grade, amazing. All right, you're like a catch on a catch on a catch. You know what I'm saying? Like, my way is sensible. Well, listen, my OCD and my autism makes it that I have to do that. I don't think it's sensible. I think I have no choice. All right, what else do we got here? I think that's it. What is next week? We'll talk about that tomorrow. All right, so there we go. I'm out. I gotta go. It's about time. I think I'm gonna eat a little lunch. Oh, it's 4 o'clock already. I'm gonna eat some lunch, and I'm gonna try to do some chapters. I gotta record. I gotta do the audio for the chapters, so that should be a lot of fun. Yes, I'll see you tomorrow. That's right, 2 o'clock every Saturday, Sunday, live 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. With that, I'm Thomas J. Bellezza, and as always, please keep developing the right mindset. I'll see you next time. Bye.